This clip is brought to you by Sport Wheels Warehouse, Nova Scotia's largest baseball and hockey training center. Indoor batting cages, hockey shooting gallery, camps, corporate events, birthdays, and more.
All right, Mike, we're going. Thanks for joining the show.
Hey, no problem. My pleasure.
I should call you Coach. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
So, starting these conversations, it's not difficult, but there's so much that you've probably had to comprehend over the past couple of months of, coaching a brand new franchise that's here. That's a great accomplishment, what you guys have done so far. What have you taken in that's just your wow moment? Has it been the winning streak at the beginning? Has it been the crowds? Has it been the overall people when you're out and about saying great job? Like, what is it to you, do you think, that's really hit home?
I think it's a combination of crowd and community. I think, obviously you come into a city which really is not a lacrosse hotbed. So, there's that unknown of, are they going to support us? Are we going to get the crowds? And crowd support it's that extra man, it's that extra person that pushes you when the games get difficult. So that was really an unknown for us. And I can tell you the support in the arena has been fantastic. The crowd has been loud. They've been entertaining. They've been, pushing us, from when we fall behind. Yeah. They've been the ones that have been really pushing us forward. But out in the community, you go to restaurants and guys are like, "Hey, coach, good luck tonight." Yeah. And, that's something that in Rochester we never really had. So it's a great new experience for us, and it's been awesome.
Outside of the actual coaching factor, bringing new guys into a new city, I don't know if it's tough to actually get them to, play the way you want them to play. There's new guys coming onto the team. What would be like the biggest challenge that you think of, getting guys from another market, bringing them in here, flying them in week after week? Has there been a challenge of that aspect of getting them to buy into, a certain way?
Yeah, I think, for us last year going into the unrestricted, market where we were trying to get guys to come here, again, I think there was just too many unknowns. And, we were able to get Scott Campbell and Ryan Benesh to come on board, but they've had experiences with us and with me specifically as a coach. So that was the easy sell. I think next year we're going to have a much different approach in our unrestricted free agency. I think guys see the excitement here. Mark Matthews from Saskatchewan Rush, I know he did an interview with somebody after the game, and he said you could feel the energy in this building. And I think that really is a testament to, one, how hard our group of people in Halifax have been working to create that, to get, the people in the seats. And I think it's just going to, continue to roll forward. And I think it's, good things to come in Halifax.
Good. I want to talk about the NLL as a whole. You yourself are a legend. You've been in the league for many years. I was talking to Charlie earlier before this podcast, and he talks about how he was working in the NLL 2012, I think he said was his first year, and the progress all the way from 2020. Now, so many things can come into, the progress of a league or the growth of a league, excuse me. What do you think it is? Do you think it's the talent of the players? Do you think it was patience of the fans, just seeing the quality on the floor, marketing? There's so many factors. What do you think was the number one thing to get it to where it is now?
I think that the quality has always been there. This is the best lacrosse players that you're going to see. Yep. And there's no other league where you're going to get a better talented lacrosse. So the product has always been there. Okay. I think getting it out to the masses is really the challenge. Lacrosse is kind of like a pocket community sport, and I think a lot of people have never really experienced it. You come in Halifax and people are like, well, I've never really seen it, but I'll probably come and check out a game. Yeah. But they don't really understand that it's more than a sport. It's entertainment, the entertainment value that you're going to get here. It's nonstop action. There's music playing, the cheerleaders, there's people, always something going on in the crowd. So I think it's a sport, but it's also an entertaining evening. It's
like basketball almost, like an NBA game. Yeah,
that's right. It's more of a just going to see the sport. You're going for the entertainment of the evening. Yeah. I think that's something that the Halifax has done a fantastic job. They had they have the last week they had the kitchen party. It's stuff like that gets people into the building and, hey, let's check it out. Yeah. And I think we can sell the product that we have, as entertainment, because I think we're a good team, we're a competitive team. We're a young team. We're exciting to watch. So people enjoy that. I think as a league in whole, I think media presence is huge. And I think that the more that we get that message out and the more media presence that we have, and I think social media is really the tool that is a good marketing tool for our league. And I think our league is starting to do better at that.
Yeah.
I can tell you Halifax is phenomenal at that.
Well, I was going to say, it's great.
Amazing videos. Like, I mean, I watch these videos that, Stroby puts together and it gives me goosebumps. And that's like, I've been around a long time and there's not too much that kind of really, really excites me. I'm watching these videos. I'm like, man, like I wish that was there when I was playing. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's really a documentation of what it goes into the day and the travel and the excitement. And it's really impressive. And I think, Charlie and Stroby have done such a great job with our social media, our Twitter handle, our Instagram, that I think that reaches out to so many more people. And it's an easy way, it's a cheap way to get out into the market.
Well, it's great that you allow it, because you might think some coaches might be a little, get the cameras out of here. I don't think it's really good for the team. It's great that you allowed it and take in, because when you take it in, you're allowing the fans' interaction to come, a little bit higher with the team. And some coaches might not let that, and they might not be with the times. Yeah. But the fact that you are allowing it, that's people are definitely recognizing that, and I think pretty appreciative of it. That was one of the things that was brought up in the league is they needed to vote on whether they were going to allow a social media person on the bench. Oh, it was like a league vote thing. Okay, sorry. And there was a lot of people that were against it. And again, it's a lot of people that really, they don't want anybody else near you. They just want to be with the players. But I think the more you let people into your team and into the inner workings of your team, there creates that personal connection. And being on the bench and getting it from that view, I think it's something special. It's something a lot of fans will never get to experience. They'll never be able to stand on a bench and watch a game. No. But when you have a videographer there that's giving you that picture and what we see and how we see the game, I think it gives it to a different level. Mm-hmm. It's funny, Charlie, the first game he came on the bench and he was standing up and he was videoing, and he actually stepped in front of me, and I said, Charlie, either get out of my way or I'm going to push you out of my way. So, it does present its challenges, but I think it's all something that you just have to adjust to. Yeah. You just have to get used to. It's part of the times. You got to be able to change with the times. You got to be able to change with that to meet the needs of the fans. And not to mention, this is your first year in Halifax. Things are going to you're going to have to learn from your mistakes, kind of adjust things. You can notice from the first game that you guys ever played, the inter-squad game, to now, the production side of it, it's fantastic. Yeah. That little couple months gap, what you've learned. Yeah, absolutely. It's learning what the fans want. It's also learning how the building works. Yeah. It's learning what works, what doesn't work. Yeah. And again, what works in one market won't work in another market. So again, kudos to our team here in Halifax that have really done a good job as to, getting into the crowd, seeing what they want, and trying to produce something that they're entertaining. I want to go back to the coaching side of the game a little bit. We talk to a lot of coaches, not only in lacrosse, but hockey, talk to managers in baseball, a couple. And they say that, coaching, managing, whatever it is, it's almost at the peak of its, not difficulty, but you almost have to pay attention to the point of knowing what the players will allow and not to stroke their egos, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And especially at the pro level here where you see crowds like this, the players must be very happy. They must feel confident that they're putting a good show on the floor. How do you as a coach almost go into every single player and just kind of assess who they are as a person in order to push them to that level? Because, let's be honest, there's people out there that you can't really push to that level because they might take offense to it and they might not play as well because they think that you're mad at them. How do you find that line, I guess is what I'm trying to say? Well, I think it's I think you have to create a personal connection with players. I mean, they're players, but they're also people, and everybody has I say that everybody has a currency. Everybody has something that makes them tick, that drives them and pushes them forward. I came from an old school kind of school of thought when coaches would grab you by the face mask and yell and scream in your face, and that was motivation, and that doesn't work with this generation of players. So you really have to find out what works for each person, because every person is different. I can grab Cody and yell and scream at Cody and he's going to respond. As where I could grab a Clark Peterson and he might go back into a shell and so scared of making a mistake that he grips the stick a little tighter and makes those unforced errors that's normally not him. So I think you got to get to know your players. You really have to create a bond with your players and a trust with your players that they trust that you're always going to try and put them in the best situation to be successful. I think you have to be honest with them. The most difficult thing is pulling somebody out of a lineup, right? And
again, I think that's where you can create the trust with the guys, where you're saying, hey, this is what we need to do better. This is how we can do better. Let's just push that reset button, refocus, and let's see where we go from here.
Yeah.
So I think, it's that trust factor. You have to create that trust and that bond with your players, that they'll go to the wall for you, and you got to know how to motivate them, and everybody's different.